Hello! I'm planning a few sewing projects, and that involves picking out some fabric. So, let's do some burn tests. So, if you're not familiar with burn tests, they're a good way to determine the fiber content of a textile. Plant fibers, synthetic, and animal fibers all burn differently. So it's a little bit tricky to tell the specifics, especially if you've got mixes between different textiles. But I've got a handy dandy table pulled up that I will go ahead and link in the description, and we're gonna see how close we can get. Of course, when you're lighting things on fire, make sure to keep water on hand, make sure you're in a ventilated spot, and don't burn your fingers. We've got 7 fabrics and 1 yarn to identify today, so I'm going to cut out little swatches from all of them, and then we can get started. So the first one is going to be this gray fabric here. It's woven, so there's no stretch to it at all. You probably can't see it well on camera, but there's a few slubs, a few thicker spots in the weaving. You can kind of see it. So this probably isn't the greatest quality, and it's a little bit scratchy. So this is probably synthetic. We'll go ahead and test that theory. If it's synthetic, then the fibers are going to melt in on themselves. You probably see the smoke is kind of blackish, and it does smell like burning plastic. If I get a closer look, yeah, there's no beading like you see in polyester, but there is this hard melted edge that you can kind of see. Not really, but this is some sort of synthetic. If I had to take a guess, because it doesn't bead all that much, this is probably acrylic, but I can tell you for certain it is some kind of synthetic. Probably acrylic. And I will go ahead and pin this label with the proper amount of uncertainty to that first tested fabric. Okay. Next is this green gingham sort of print. This one is probably also synthetic if I had to take a wild guess, but I really like the colors. I'm a huge fan of green. If you can't tell, I don't actually have a lot of green on my desk. I need to fix that. But this one is probably also synthetic. It is much lighter, and there's not as much inconsistency in the weave. This is woven. Yeah, that's pretty common in these sort of checker patterns. So let's go ahead. Notice this one shrinks away. Had that black smoke again. This is gonna be the same material. Yeah, that doesn't drip. So this is probably going to be like acrylic or polyester again. Oh, that is crumbly. Ugh. Not the greatest fiber for like being right up against the skin, but if you got some layers between you, it's okay. Mark this one as synthetic and move on. Okay, this one feels cottony, which gives me hope. Like, it wrinkles too, which is a thing cotton and linen love to do. Like, this is another woven one. It's this light green that I'm hoping to make a shirt out of. See, proof that I do like green. But it's looks like decent quality. There's probably a yard here. I'll need to have like half of it be another material, but it's such a good color. Okay, we see some shrinking away. Oh, that smoke is black. We've got some melting. Oh, that is like liquidy. You see it like pull apart. But it's like sticking to itself and to me, so this is probably acetate. Or nylon. That sucks. I was excited about this one. Maybe it's like a coat lining that I'll have a shirt in between. But okay, we've got this other. Oh, this feels like a bed sheet. This is probably a bed sheet. It does feel satiny, and I have a lot of bed sheets around. So let's see. I have a lot of woven fabrics because I don't like doing jersey. This guy likes to stay lit. Notice it's still smoldering a lot. I think this one might be a mixed content because I've seen that a lot with cotton, but you notice how it's kind of graying? There's no beading on this. It's not melting. That's ash. That's ash. This is a plant fiber. Or at least it's a blend. You see that's black ash, so this is probably cotton. Let me consult the chart. I'm not very good at identifying what it smells like, but we've got afterburnings, we had burning quickly and flares. Let's see, takes time to ignite, so this isn't flax. This is not rayon. This is almost certainly cotton. It did easily crumble, and that is characteristic for cotton. That's cool. Our first natural fiber. And it's on a bed sheet. That's nice. I made a pirate shirt out of one of my bed sheets, and I can't tell if it's this one. And if so, that's an improvement. I thought it was just really lightweight, but it's a little breathable. Next one is this lovely, let me like clear some of these ashes out of the way. I'll wipe my desk down after. The next one is this blue and black houndstooth. Now this is woven in kind of a basket weave style. I don't know how clear this is, but each one of these little sort of pixels is 2 threads right next to each other. So that's how you get this very blocky version of houndstooth. And that's why it's so flat, too. Like, there's a bit of a chevron pattern where the threads are kind of like that I am a huge fan of. I'm hoping that this is like cotton. It doesn't feel like wool, but it is like, you know, a little bit textured of a weave, so I'm hoping I can make this into some nice slacks. I've got a pattern for slacks that I've been excited for, but like that phrase a lot because that's a basket weaves have much longer floating threads, kind of like there's more gaps between where the threads switch sides. So let's give this one a good test. That is shrinking. That is beading. This is almost certainly polyester. I mean, those slacks do call for a fabric lining, so I might still do these. We'll have to see if I can find anything better to work with. If not, I mean, this is lovely. In the order of colors I wear the most, it's definitely black, green, then blue. But blue's up there for me. I like cool colors. And I love houndstooth. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Second to last, we've got this kind of canvasy, plain, what is this, beige color fabric. Ooh. This is a very fine weave, so I don't know if it's going to show up very well, but this is a twill. It ends up with these kind of diagonal lines, because if you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 set up on your warp threads, then it goes, the first weft will go 1, and then the second will be on 2, and then 3, and then 4. This is balanced, so it's probably like 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, or something. It's very cool, very fun. Jeans are twill. Here it is. Now the things that I've burned in the past that have had this sort of texture to them have been like a heavier cotton. So fingers crossed, we have a cotton in this one as well. Oh, this one is burning slow. It caught. It just took a second. We might have a wool on our hands. There's no. I'm realizing you can't really see with the fire, but there was no beating. There's this like gradual shift, and animal fibers burn slower. So this is probably, no, it's not really ashing much. There's a little bit. So this is probably a wool or a wool blend. Let's see. I don't have any other animal fibers on this list. It's almost certainly wool, though. It did kind of smell like burnt hair. I'm not the greatest at smells. What else? Linen, flax, takes time to ignite. May glow after flame extinguished. The ash was fine and soft. What are the characteristics of wool? Gritty powder. So this might be a linen. This might be a linen? It did burn slowly. It's definitely not a silk. This is probably wool. This is probably a, like, sort of canvas or wool. It is kind of finely spun and then thickly packed, which gives you that kind of slicker feeling, which I associate more with plant fibers. This is probably wool, but I'm not confident. Either way, it will make for some very lovely pants. I might want to dye this darker. And maybe then we'll see, we can test if this is plant fiber or if it's a wool fiber, because I have some fiber reactive dyes that will dye cotton darker, so I can test some cotton and put this up next to it. Since if this is an animal fiber, like I think it is, then it will be paler. Okay, last but not least. This one I picked up at a thrift store with the intent to make it into a lovely kind of winter jacket. I wanted to do like an older style. Now this is kind of felt-like in texture. I don't think there's a visible weave. Okay, there is a weave, so this is like kind of felted on by some way, shape, or means. I don't know how felt is manufactured, I just know how it's traditionally made. But it is very soft, so I'm not the most optimistic about its actual contents. There is a lot of it. It's like a full blanket. So let's give this a look. That is a kind of slower move. There's definitely some beading. Oh! That straight up melted. There's plastic melted onto my desk now. So this is probably acetate or nylon. It didn't shrink away from the flame, so it's probably acetate. So let's mark this as probably acetate. Okay. Last but not least, I have picked up the hobby of knitting. I've already crocheted and weaved for a while. But I'm learning how to knit because you get better socks that way. And I started with a cotton or a cotton rayon blend, and I'm not even close to finished with my first pair of socks. I've gotten past the toe on my first pair of socks, and now that I'm succeeding at it, where is the end on this? Here we go. I'm planning a bunch more sock projects. I just ordered some lovely variegated cotton yarn. This is about the correct weight for the pattern that I'm working with, and it's got color variations in it, which is all I really ask for in a sock. So I am just going to test to see if this is a natural fiber and I can use it for myself. And almost certainly not. That's beading. Okay, so this is probably acrylic. That's fine. What did it end up being? 2 natural fibers? Let me pull them out. There is this, probably wool. And there is this, definitely cotton. I don't know if I'm going to use anything with this cotton. I do have a cargo pants pattern that I'm really excited about that I might do in this, since it does call for a lightweight cotton, and then that'll be breathable. And then I just need to test to see if we know that it's natural. We don't know if... I'm pretty sure it's wool. But I should do the tests just in case. Because if it is wool, then it will make a lovely pair of slacks. And I will be very happy to have it. Is this gonna come off? Okay, it's off.